What's up YouTube, Jeff back from Sammy Guru here, and today is the day a lot of you have been waiting for anyway. Today I'm doing an early preview of One UI 8.0 beta. As many of you know, I've been running an early leaked build of the One UI 8 beta now for some time. I've had this particular build for about 4.5, maybe 5 days, and I think now I'm ready to talk about all the things that we know. So first of all, is this going to be everything that's going to be in the beta when it officially launches? Probably not. There'll be a few other things. But the beta is very close. We expect it to launch by the end of May. And I want to give you guys an early preview because not very many people have this. This will be fun to take a look at what we found at Sammy Guru. Before we get started, I do want to remind you guys, make sure you check out the website, sammyguru.com. Latest Samsung news, tips, tricks, tutorials, reviews, updates, everything you guys need to know. If you're in the US, you can also tap the orange banner at the top. Get in our free mystery box program. You get a free case, cleaning kit, desktop phone stand, screen protector, other randomly inserted goodies. S25 Edge is already available, and those start shipping on May 29th. We've also got Z Fold 7, Z Flip 7, Watch 8 series that are all going to be open already, and the signups are being taken for the July event. Find the phone you're interested in, go ahead and tap that, put in your phone number, email, or both. You'll get a link to order, which is our affiliate link on launch day. All you have to do is use that, fill out the verification form to get your box. Now, the reason we fund this using the affiliate revenue is so we can, give back to you guys and also fund the site without having a bunch of annoying pop-up ads. We get you guys a bunch of cool goodies, and we use the affiliate revenue to pay for the shipping and all the items in the box. It's a great thing. It works out. It's win-win for everyone. Check it out in the link in the pinned comment and description. I've got a list. Today, I've got a Google Doc, not a Google Keep document, just because this is a little more longer, and we've kind of formatted this a little bit over at Sammy Guru with the other writers. So let's kind of go through this. The first thing I'll go through is animation and haptics. There's a new notification animation when you do this, and I'll go ahead and see if I can do the screenshot real quick. You guys see how it kind of has a brand new, it's got a little bit of a stutter to it, admittedly, but see that notification animation right there? That's brand new compared to One UI 7. That is something that they've added. They've added quite a lot of subtle elements like that. New music animation with live notifications in the now bar. So you do have a little bit of a new pop in, pop out animation. Let me just turn something on and then quickly turn it off so I can show you here. There you go. There you go. How's the music looks there. And of course, if you do that, it animates right back into YouTube music. And then also if you're on the now bar, of course, you guys can see right here, it opens up slightly different here with the animation. Now, another thing that you get is you get haptic feedback now. So when you open this, you're gonna get haptic feedback, not only on the live notification, but also when you tap it and open here. And that's not just for music, it's for any of the live notifications and now bar stuff that you would do. Up next is the secure folder changes. There's a bunch of changes to secure folder, which I already covered earlier in another separate video. With secure folder now, you have the ability to add a fingerprint specifically for use only with secure folder. So let's go in here and lock it really quickly. Let's lock and exit. If I open it, I can now use, this is my regular unlock finger for my screen unlock. It does not work. My index finger I set up specifically for secure folder. You also have the ability to fully hide secure folder, which then will not get any notifications or anything. It won't be visible at all, which is not available on One UI 7. The reason you can do this is because it now uses Android 16's private space API, no longer uses the work profile, which is great because that work profile had a lot of negative things to it. And Bixby's going off. Bixby's going off in the background. She's not understanding what's going on. But the private space API is much better because the work profile implementation had a lot of security risks. There are actually quite a few bugs that we documented at Sammy Guru. So this is a big change for sure. The other thing here that I wanted to mention is that inside the secure folder, you do now have the ability to set up not only one, but multiple different fingerprints that you want to utilize, like I said earlier, and those will only be utilized with secure folder. If you go into the settings, most of the other settings are pretty much the same. You do have Galaxy AI specifically for secure folder, which you can set up separately as well. But these are really big changes, even though they might not seem like it on a user facing. Most people are going to say, oh, well, the secure folder, I can hide it now. I've got, separate fingerprints. Not really a huge deal, but it's much more secure. Still don't have a proper app lock, which I know a lot of people will be disappointed about, but secure folder is getting a pretty big upgrade with One UI 8.0. For these next few changes, I want to bring in my phone that has One UI 7 here on the left, the One UI 8 phone here on the right. We're going to go in and take a look at a few things, including the quick settings. You can see it's a little bit more transparent here. Obviously, let's go back to the home screen. You can see a little bit better with the blur. It's a little more transparent than the other one on One UI 7.0. It's not a huge change, but it is slight. There does appear to be slightly less padding on the sides too in One UI 8. Maybe a little bit less here, margin, but it's nothing super noticeable. They definitely have made a few tweaks here and there, but nothing that's going to blow your mind in terms of the quick settings. Now, if you go into the actual settings menu, there's quite a few things that have changed in terms of the notifications menu. You see you've got app notifications, but down here, when it comes to the second menu, you've got completely different categories here. You can see that things have been separated out a little differently here on the right in One UI 8.0. So lock screen notifications now have been separated out into various different tiles. You have notification pop-up style, hide content while locked, sort and filter notifications here in the notification sections. So if we go to notification pop-up style, you got detailed or brief, and then you've got add lighting effect in here, which was typically found in other places. Over here, you can see notification pop-up style, but even this one, the menu style was a little bit different. So they've just rearranged this, they've moved it to the top. And these menus are a little different though. So add lighting effect instead of edge lighting, but there aren't any new effects that I could really tell. They look to be exactly the same effects inside this menu. Over here on the left, color by keyword, that's just been renamed lighting effect color by keyword, so it's more obvious. Show brief pop-ups while screen is off, show even while screen is off. And then of course, it doesn't let you now do the detailed. So the detailed menu doesn't have this option, which it didn't before, right? So detailed didn't have the option to toggle on or off there. So that's been moved here to the top. Hide content while locked. So you've got your lock screen notification section where hide content while locked, show always, hide when locked. You can choose this over here. That was part of this menu previously. So they've separated some things out. Sort and filter, you can see sort and filter by time, by priority. Status bar, you can see here, these changes are also available just elsewhere, not in this particular menu. Minimize notifications, you can see here under do not disturb. We also have that setting as well. This is nice because you can get rid of, filter these old notifications and background activities and bundle them all together. Down here, you have the appearance, status bar, and lock screen. Like I said, this has just been moved down, and you can now separate the status bar and lock screen, kind of in a more obvious way. You can also show alerting notifications only as you could before. Status bar, you've got icons, dot, and none. Do not disturb settings, as I said, and then you got your advanced settings. Advanced settings also have gotten a little bit of a redesign. You see notification history here on One UI 8.0 at the very top. Show app icon and notifications has been moved up as well. Suggest actions and replies. A lot of these things that I think maybe they thought people use the most were moved to the top, and they've grouped them into like things that are common, I think kind of belong together. So I like what they've done here. The one thing that I don't like that they've done here is that they've completely ignored all user feedback and kept this manage notification categories for each app at the very bottom inside advanced settings. This is a setting that should not even be in the advanced settings. It should be on the previous page because a lot of people are looking for this, and it's something that allows you to actually enable separate app sounds for your different application notifications. So I don't know why Samsung has chosen to do this, but that's what they've done. So we kind of have to live with it. But there's a lot of changes to the notification menus. That's definitely one of the largest menu changes that we've noticed. Most of the other menus are very, very similar, but they've definitely done some, reorganization when it comes to that menu set for the notifications. And I think it's brought a lot of clarity to various things that people will be interested in. In addition to the changes in the notification menu, Samsung has also made a change to how notifications are bundled in certain applications. This appears to be part of Android 16's own efforts to do auto bundling of certain notification types. You now have your Gmail notifications all that are bundled together, and they do not show a preview like they did in One UI 7.0. So you see here, not only do I have the individual emails, these two HubSpot ones, but if I tap in here, you're also going to see these separate emails that get bundled. Now, these are all from the same exact inbox, which are my Jeff at Sammy Guru inbox. These things, obviously some spam, but these are important emails. So it seems to try to bundle less important emails, but you see this bundle at the top also gives me the two HubSpots that I have right down here in the bundle. So I don't know, maybe this is just not fully baked, but eventually I think it's going to try to do the Android 16 automatic bundling thing where it could take a bunch of different applications that all have similar information and bundle those together. This bundle type that I showed you here in Gmail also applies to WhatsApp and some other notifications that we've seen throughout the Sammy Guru team. Gerwin, who's our writer who also has One UI 8 early build on his device, he's also seen it with WhatsApp. So it does work with various applications. Hopefully they'll polish that up, because right now it's not really that useful in the current format. Third-party app support for live notifications in the Now bar. This is in developer settings. So if you go into the developer settings and you scroll down, you will find the ability to enable the live notification, real-time notification test here. And then once you do that, you can go into About Phone and Software Information and actually enable this test. So let's go ahead and do it. Go ahead and repeatedly tap on Android 16, get the Android Easter egg, hold this down until you zoom off into space. And once you do, you're gonna get the Android space game here. But once you close this, you're gonna get the notification at the top, which is the Android in space Easter egg. That now shows you the look for live notifications and how they're gonna look on the Now bar and in the live notifications for One UI. So Google is bringing live notifications to Android 16 as a whole, and Samsung's trying to kind of integrate that with their live notifications they already built in One UI 7. Polish that up. It could mean we're going to see things like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Grubhub, all those cool things, third-party applications coming to the Now bar, which I know people are very, very excited about that for sure. Up next, let's go over a few UI and menu changes. We've got a new OrCast menu and banner, blur to various system elements like the dialogues, and new multitasking nav bar at the top. Let's talk about that first, since I already have the pop-up window here. You can see here at the top, if you look at my Google Play over here, this is the old pop-up window multitasking bar at the top. You've got the minimize, the make large, close, and then you've got the three dots menu with these two overflow options. Here you have the three dots on the far left, the same overflow options, but a different animation. You guys saw the animation there, it's completely different. You've also got the minimize is now a more traditional little line for minimization, the expand, which is exactly the same, and then the X to close all over here. Now, I accidentally closed something because it was not in the place I was used to. That's how I noticed this change. So this has changed. Just got to get used to it. The minimize being in the middle has definitely thrown me off a few times. I'm sure it's thrown me off a few times in this video. You guys may have noticed it before now. We do have brand new blur in all of your different dialogues. So if you do not disturb, for instance, you see the new dialogue box here. If I turn do not disturb on and off over here, you got no blur at all. This blur over here looks absolutely beautiful. For the most part, everything else is the same. Here, it's learned a little more about me because I've used this phone for a longer time. So it's suggesting I turn it off until a certain time. Whereas over here, it doesn't do that yet, but that has more to do with learning about how you use the phone. Should recommend something if I use this phone a little longer. Obviously, I wiped it to put the One UI 8 build, but this looks nice. This appears in dialog boxes throughout the UI. It's very, very nice indeed. And then the OrCast menu banner, let me show you guys this. We're gonna go into connections, and then we'll go into Bluetooth. We'll go in here, and you'll see broadcast sound using OrCast is different on One UI 7 and One UI 8. You'll notice the brand new banner you've got here. The broadcast name password is made a little bit stronger. You still have the improved compatibility, and now instead of having this small start broadcast, you've got a larger start broadcast at the bottom. They've also changed the color, make it look a little bit better, a little bit more readable. If you look at the info button, it's really still pretty much the same. Otherwise, still the same feature, but definitely looks a lot nicer. It looks like Samsung is getting ready to embrace OrCast. It's just an overall idea. If you don't know what it is, it's a way to share broadcast with Bluetooth devices all around you. And it's a very, very useful feature. It should be coming to a lot more public places in the near future. Anyone who has Bluetooth earbuds will be able to listen to your broadcast. Something if you have if you're like a public place or museum, you can utilize this in a lot of ways for tours and to deliver other important public information. Up next, let's talk about the wallpaper that I have here. So if you go into your wallpapers and styles in One UI 8, go to change wallpaper, you scroll down, you'll find there's a brand new wallpaper set. So you see here under colors, go to colors, you'll see that you've got these two dynamic wallpapers now in One UI 8, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It changes color with the time of day. You can see how it shifts too. You've got two different versions. I made a full video on these if you guys want to check out more about them. But the other one is one that animates into a little dot here. You guys can see it if you choose the one with the little dot. It animates like this. It also changes color throughout the time of day. So that's not available in One UI 7. I don't know if it will come to older devices either. but it doesn't seem like it would be an AI specific thing. So it'll probably come to other devices and not just the flagships. Now we also have some new options in terms of the lock screen clocks. So let's actually turn those on. You guys may have noticed the one that I'm using here. So let's actually go into lock screen on both sides. Let's go into the clocks. You can see here we've got a brand new font style, this one right here that I was using. The other ones are just the same, they're just in different spots. Doesn't really appear to be anything super new there. I mean, most of these other ones are the same ones we've had. Some of these that are at the end are ones from the Good Lock module clock face. There is one new animation type for this clock style. So this clock style only has one animation type in One UI 7, whereas it has two. You see how this one's a little different? See if I can switch back. And this one animates kind of in the middle for both and then around for the numbers. So just a slightly different animation, but nothing crazy. So one new font type, one new clock animation. I wouldn't even call it different style, but you know, I tried to document all the changes for you guys so you know what's going on. And that appears to be what's new in terms of the lock screen clock change. Now let's get into the per app changes. There's quite a few. First of all, with quick share, we can go into quick share over here and over here. Let's go into connected devices, quick share on both sides. You can see here, you've got a couple of changes. First of all, inside of the actual quick share menu here, there's not really anything crazy different. You've just got basically these share with Galaxy and non-Galaxy devices. There really isn't any big changes, but when you actually go in and do the quick sharing, so let's go in and choose a file on each side to do a quick share for. So we'll go in here and let me do quick share, and let me go over to the gallery here and I'll do a quick share. So share as an image. Let's go to quick share here and quick share here. You'll notice here, easier file sharing, ready to receive. Anyone nearby can share with you while you're on the receive screen. Share files quickly, choose files and share them directly from the send screen. And so now you've got this send and receive, two separate screens with this nice animation in the background. And you can see you'll share as, suggested, share to contacts, and you can see here up here how I'm going to share as. So you can see that takes you right back into your quick settings. You've got your three dots menu, turn on private sharing, right there at the top. They removed that there because of course you can go into private sharing history here and share privately. Once you want to share the file, you can go ahead and easily do that. So you see the image right there. You can choose which device you want to share it with, get a QR code or a link as well. So they just removed the private sharing option unless you go to the actual send screen. It's still there, it's just not on the receive screen for obvious reasons. So this is a big redesign for quick share. Really nice to see Samsung's really thinking through how to utilize the various menus, blur, and everything and kind of make a cohesive package with One UI 8.0. Up next is the internet redesign for Samsung Internet. This is actually a change that you can get though on One UI 7 as well. One UI 7, we actually made a big post about this. We originally broke the news of how to get this by using the debugging menu in the Samsung Internet application. It's got a brand new layout, which allows you to have like a custom wallpaper in the background. Looks really slick. You can now change the wallpaper itself as well. This menu is completely revamped. I made a full video on this, but once you enable it, you can now go into settings, go into homepage quick access, tap on the settings over here, and you can actually change your wallpapers, which also now works on One UI 7 as well. You've got a bunch of predetermined categories. There is no option to set your own custom wallpaper, but there are a lot of cool options in here, and I'm sure Samsung will eventually add the ability to get your own custom wallpaper. So this is a pretty big UI redesign in Samsung Internet. This is not officially in One UI 8. You can still only enable it from the developer settings, the debugging settings in Samsung Internet, but I do believe that the Samsung Internet application will get an update that bakes this into the kind of stock settings without having to do any debugging once One UI 8 arrives, because it is labeled as the new UI. So it will probably come out when One UI 8 arrives later this year. Weather has been redesigned. The weather application does have a redesign. I have the One UI 8 weather over here, but this is the One UI 7 weather. It's got more of like, an animated look, whereas this one's more realistic in 3D. It's got some different blur elements, slightly different design elements, a lot of the same information, but just looks overall a little more polished, in line with what they're trying to do with One UI 8. And the graphics are certainly a lot better in the One UI 8 version. Now you can get the application and use an app to simulate running it on One UI 7, which is what I've done here. but it is very stuttery and buggy. But you can see that you can run the One UI 8 weather app on One UI 7. I'll drop a link below if you guys want to check it out. But it will cause some lag on your phone, so just keep that in mind. The last thing is the voice recorder, which I also did a separate video on. The voice recorder application got a brand new design where when you go to a recording, it's no longer all about Galaxy AI. It's more about, using Galaxy AI to do what you need to do, versus before it was all about Galaxy AI being in your face. So if you go to a voice recording, let's go all the way back, and you see here I have the transcript. In this one, I also did a transcript already, but you can see on the main screen, the Galaxy AI has now been moved up to this 3-dot menu, this overflow menu. It's not as in your face. It's just a tool to help if you want it. You do get a couple of suggested things like transcribe at the bottom, and then you can also, of course, translate or summarize, but you can also offload this to the top menu, which makes it a little bit nicer. Audio Eraser is also coming to the voice recorder application. I haven't been able to get it to show up, but a few people have, including Theodore Sim on X. I'll drop a link to his post. I definitely trust him. I just haven't been able to. I tried a bunch of different background noise to see if it would show up. It's not there yet, but I do believe it will arrive with the voice recorder app in One UI 8.0. Anyway, those are all the changes. I'm sure I will have omitted something since this, of course, is an early build. I could get a new build tomorrow that has new stuff, but I will pub this probably the next day after I made it here, which is May 20th. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If I made some crazy omissions or messed up, I'm sorry. Making these early videos with all these features can be a little tricky sometimes, especially as things evolve rapidly. Check out sammyguru.com. Make sure you guys get on the mystery boxes if you're interested. Highly appreciate you guys checking out the video. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.